So I thought I'd just record maybe like a quick video for Instagram just about what's happening in Gaza right now. And it's not even about like what's happening right now, because if you go on social media, you're going to see horrible videos of Israeli citizens being killed by Palestinian insurgents. You're going to see like whole buildings being absolutely, bombed to shit in Gaza and stuff. Like, you're going to see stuff you often see in Western media when it comes to this conflict. But also what I've been seeing on Twitter, obviously, from the UK, every British politician, apart from the leader of Scotland and Jeremy Corbyn, who've called for peace between both sides, is all the politicians, including the fucking leader of the Labour Party, Keith Starmer, who I hate more than anyone in UK politics, saying that Israel has a right to defend itself, right? And obviously, I'm from an Irish background, and if you are even aware of UK politics, you know the same sort of bullshit that always gets pushed about Ireland and about the IRA and stuff. Like, monsters, terrorists, terrible people, how could they do this? And the number one point is, I don't even say you have to agree with what, the IRA did. Obviously, you don't have to agree with what Hamas are doing. But the point is, when colonized people rised up, why are they doing that? And that's the main point. Because what is the root of this conflict? Like in Ireland, right? If England cared so much about the IRA killing people, then just leave. It's really that simple, right? Just leave. Why are you still there? Why are you still occupying Ireland? And they're still doing it today, of course, as well. Same with Israel. If, and the thing is with Israel as well, it's not even an all or nothing thing, right? If they just stopped their current colonialism, there'd be more peace. There have been times in history where Palestinians would have negotiated with Israel while Israel still existed, right? And of course, we know like Israeli intelligence helped Hamas flourish in the first place to undermine the PLO. But at the same time, it is on the occupier and the colonizer to stop their colonization of these people, right? And if you stop that, then you have less people joining insurgent groups. You have less people wanting to do these, terrible acts and stuff. And that's the whole point. Saying Israel has a right to defend itself is basically you as the West saying, do whatever the fuck you want. Go and kill thousands of people. I have nothing to say. Keir Starmer couldn't even say Palestine in his tweet. He just talked about Israel the whole time. Like, Hamas are just crazy people, and everyone who joins it is crazy. Not that, living in Gaza is unimaginable hell, and it's no wonder so many people join the only militant group in the area which has any power to fight back, right? And people are just so ignorant about these things. It's not about whether you agree with terrorism. That is besides the point, because yes, we all agree that doing terrorism and violence is bad. But why is one terrorism and one is, IDF security? They are terrorists as well. If you follow like any Palestinian page which exposes what Israel does in Gaza and the West Bank, you will see their terrorism every single day. But the Western media only care when Westerners, as Israelis are seen, are killed. So when Israelis are killed, everyone is outraged, worst things ever. When Palestinians are killed, it's just normal. Because like I said in my video this week about the Creator, we are shown in our media, just generally, and our news media, just constantly massacres of Arab people by maybe other Arab people, or we're shown massacres in Africa, in Asia. So we're used to, in our head, we're used to seeing these people die, but we're not used to seeing Europeans die. And that's why, you can see with Ukraine, the reaction is, of course, loads of people support Ukraine because they're not used to this. But when it's Palestine, I guess we don't care. And even Zelensky coming out today, he didn't even say Palestine. He just said he supports Israel. How's that for irony? The guy who is leading the country being occupied by another country right now comes out and supports the occupier. Again, such hypocrisy. And again, I know people like him are in this situation, but you can at least call for peace, not side with the occupier when you are being occupied. So let's just try and remember that kind of thing, because it's just constantly frustrating to just read Western media and they act like, oh my God, I can't be seen to be siding with terrorism, therefore I will back the people bombing the shit out of the most densely populated place on earth. Like, that's better. Because it is better. It is seen as better. You are allowed to support Israeli terrorism in the West. but you're not even allowed to say that, oh, the reason that, you know, these extremists in Palestine and Hamas and the leadership, and, you know, they say terrible things, they do terrible things, the reason that even happens is because of the occupation and colonization. It's just so easy to people, and you don't need to know the complexities of Israeli politics, Palestinian politics. It literally is, you know, something that goes on throughout history. Ireland is a perfect example if you're from England to imagine, right? You have an occupation, you have colonization, you have ethnic cleansing, you have murder, you have massacres, then the people rise up. And when the people rise up, it's probably not going to be pretty. Same with Haiti as well back in the past. When you create a system where everyone is complicit in your subjugation and basically the erasure of your identity and your people, the backlash is never going to be nice. It happened a lot after World War II. Czechoslovakia, what Czech people did to Germans living there, it's not going to be pretty. It isn't. But that's why you don't do this in the first place, because you're going to provoke a reaction which is terrible, but you give people often like feel like they have no choice but to do this. Or alternatively, when you see like terrible acts of just, you know, murder that is unjustifiable, like going into someone's house like Hamas have, killing a bunch of civilians, that is created by this cycle of hatred where a lot of the people who join a group like Hamas might have had, you know, a family member killed by the Israelis. So then it just creates this thing in their head where they're happy to go out and murder civilians, right? Even in a more like blatant, terrible fashion that goes beyond just bombing a place or something. But anyway, probably too long for an Instagram story. I'll just make this a post. But yeah, it doesn't matter like the context of this being different, because it is a massive attack, way bigger than usual, way bigger than anything, I think, in decades. But at the same time,